story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Hello. I wanted to do a quick little update on House Resolution 1444, and one of the reasons I want to do this is because a lot of people have been talking about the how 1444 and 1388 violate the 13th Amendment, and they're absolutely right. The only problem, though, is when you talk about the Constitution anymore to our elected officials, they blow it off. It's not. They don't care. Our elected officials are sick of hearing about the Constitution. They're sick of hearing ordinary people talk about the Constitution. It's a sad fact, but it's true. So I thought I'd approach this from a different standpoint. I'm still going to bring in the relevance of the 13th Amendment, but I thought on top of that, I'd take a look at some legal statutes, criminal statutes that are on the books right now, and how this kind of legislation actually goes against criminal statutes. Not just the ultimate law of the land, which is the Constitution, but it actually violates criminal statutes that were written by our legislators. So I thought maybe they'd listen to their own words a little more than maybe they'd listen to some old dead guys who were around 150 years ago and were much wiser than our elected officials are right now. So the very first thing I'd like to bring up here is one specific criminal statute, which is, and I'll link to it again over, you know where to look, and the link is actually going to go to the FBI's website, so you know it's not just some yokel just giving you his interpretation of it. It's right here. This is a statute, Title 18, United States Code, Section 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. This statute makes it a crime for any person acting under color of law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom to willfully deprive or cause to be deprived from any person those rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution and the laws of the U.S. Which basically means that even though in House Resolution 1388 they took out the mandatory provisions, they still left in under Section 125, under House Resolution 1388, Section 125, prohibited activities in ineligible organizations, subsection A. Prohibited activities: a participant in an approved national service position under this subtitle may not engage in the following activities: attempting to influence legislation, organizing or engaging in protests, petitions, boycotts, or strikes, assisting, promoting, or deterring union organization, impairing existing contracts for services or collective bargaining agreements, engage in partisan political activities or other activities designed to influence the outcome of an election to any public office. And let's see here. Participating in or endorsing events or activities that are likely to include advocacy for or against political parties, political platforms, political candidates, proposed legislation, or elected officials. I'm going to stop there. This whole section basically tells anybody who's engaging in this program what they can't do. And basically what they're saying is what these people can't do, or what they are guaranteed to do under the Bill of Rights. So that's just that's a statute. This is a statute that's on the books. Title 18, United States Code, Section 242. Basically says that no organization, especially acting under the color of law, can deprive anybody from engaging in these activities. But what are they doing? They're telling people that if you're part of this group, you can't exercise the basic fundamental rights that are guaranteed to you by your Constitution. And they're right. Even more saddening, I think anyway, is that Section 2 of the 13th Amendment basically says that Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Well, they've done exactly the opposite. Instead of enforcing this article under appropriate legislation, they're completely ignoring what the 13th Amendment to the Constitution guarantees every person. And not only are they ignoring it, but they're quite potentially engaging in illegal activity by even drafting this legislation to begin with. Now, like I said, that bill has already been passed. That resolution has already been passed. 1388 has been passed. Those provisions have already been passed in 1388. People have been saying, well, it's okay because they didn't make it mandatory. That doesn't matter. But the scary thing is, House Resolution 1444 brought back the mandatory provisions. So now on top of that, this goes right back to, now we're going right back to the mandatory provisions again. Now, I want to hit one more thing here on the books, and that is, again, it's under Title 18 United States Code, Section 245, federally protected activities. These are activities that are protected regardless of whether or not you're receiving financial aid, grants, anything like that, and I felt it was relevant to mention this. Now, what it basically is, this statute prohibits willful injury, intimidation, or interference, meaning simply you can't do that, otherwise we'll take away what it is we're offering you, or attempt to do so by force or threat of force of any person or class of persons because of their activity as. Now I'm going to go down to the ones that are relevant to the current House resolutions. You can look them all up for yourself later on if you choose, but quite specifically, a student or applicant for admission to any public school or public college, a participant in any benefit, service, privilege, program, facility, or activity provided or administered by state or local government. Now, there's a lot more to it than that. And again, you can go ahead and check it out. Now, that's pretty much it for this. But one thing I'd like to mention here is another thing I get sick of hearing. I get very sick of hearing. Are these people that say, well, we live in a free country. Thanks to, our free country, you can say whatever the hell you choose. Yeah, I can. And I can do that whether the government tells me I'm allowed to or not, because I'm guaranteed the right to say whatever the hell I want. The problem is, in this day and age, people are afraid to speak their mind. Lots of people are afraid to speak their mind because they're afraid if they say the wrong thing, they might be targeted for it. Which only goes to show that we live in a free country. But the country we live in is only as free as the government you're living under allows it to be. You're only as free as you're only free enough to do whatever you want, as long as they tell you it's okay to do it. So I think our perception of what freedom and democracy really is has been skewered over the last 30 or so years. So anyway, that's it for this little video here. Just thought I'd do another update, like I said, and do what I can to try and keep you informed on this House resolution that I think a lot of people really need to pay attention to. Turn off your American Idols and turn off your cartoons and your mind-numbing nonsense, and just take 5 minutes to go off and research something that's going to affect you a hell of a lot more than who's getting the next big record contract. So, with that said, have a great day.